Welcome. In this session, I'm going to begin with a new chapter, biological classification. Okay, so these classification systems are not permanent. They keep on changing from time to time. And right, so what the evidence we know right from Aristotle, they started to classify, but in those days they have considered only some simple morphological features to classify the organisms. Okay, and then the Linnaeus, he proposed the two kingdom classification, and then later it became three kingdom, then four kingdom, and five kingdom classification that we are going to study in the textbook. And beyond the five kingdom, we have six kingdom, seven kingdom, and even recently scientists are trying to propose even eight kingdom classification. Anyway, so we will see those things, okay, in this session, right? So here Aristotle is the first person, so we know that he tried to classify the organisms scientifically. So he tried, okay, so to classify organisms scientifically, tried to classify organisms scientifically, and he classified the plants, okay, into herbs, shrubs, and trees. So he classified into herbs. So plants he classified into herbs, shrubs, and trees. And he classified even animals also. So this is based on presence of okay, red blood or absence of red blood, right? So he classified the animals into two categories. So that is based on presence or absence of red blood, absence of red blood. Okay, and he named them as N-ama. Okay, so that is N-ama, and another one An-ama. So N-ama will be with the red blood, whereas An-ama is without red blood. So this is what Aristotle first he tried to classify the organisms. So on simple morphological features, he tried to classify the plants into herbs, shrubs, and trees, and he also tried to classify the animals, and he classified them into two groups, right, N-ama and An-ama. Right. Of course, now we know where we follow this system of classification here. Okay. Then later Carolus Linnaeus, right? So Carolus Linnaeus, he classified the plants and animals. So he proposed two kingdom classification. He proposed two kingdom classification. Okay, right? And those two kingdoms, one kingdom plantae, so he considered all plants, then another group animalia. But other than plants and animals, there are many other, okay, organisms which he did not consider at all. Okay, of course, in course of time, this two kingdom classification is replaced with the three kingdom classification. Okay, so this two kingdom classification that was proposed in the year 1735. So in 1735, okay, so this is one and this is two, only two kingdoms, plantae and animalia. The next step, it was replaced with the three kingdom classification, replaced with three kingdom classification, right? And this three kingdom classification was proposed by Ernest Haeckel. Is proposed by Ernest Haeckel. Okay, so that in 1866, in 1866, and what he introduced here is protista. So he introduced, okay, kingdom protista. Okay, so now totally it became three kingdoms with this two, that is Plantae Animalia and kingdom protista. Okay, now of course this three kingdom classification is also not sufficient. Still many other organisms were not included, okay, under this three kingdom classification. Okay, so here under this, the first one they remain same, kingdom Plantae, then second one Animalia, and the third one he introduced was Protista. Okay, right. So that is the three kingdom classification. So next, in course of time, it was replaced with the four kingdom classification. Replaced with the four kingdom classification, and this four kingdom classification was proposed by Copeland. Was proposed by Copeland in the year 1938. In the year 1938, and he introduced kingdom Munira. So he introduced kingdom Munira. Okay, so let's see those four kingdoms. Those three kingdoms remain same. So kingdom Plantae, and then kingdom Animalia, and then kingdom Protista, and now the fourth kingdom is Monera. So he included those bacteria, but still there are fungi that were not included in any of these kingdoms. So next, it was the four kingdom classification. It was replaced with the five kingdom classification. So this five kingdom classification is what we are going to study. Okay, so this five kingdom classification was proposed by that R.H. Whittaker. Okay, and this was proposed in the year 1969. So in the year 1969. Okay, and R.H. Whittaker, he introduced okay, the kingdom fungi. So he introduced kingdom fungi. So now, right, so according to R.H. Whittaker classification, the kingdom Plantae remains the same, the kingdom Animalia remains same, then kingdom Protista remains same, and Monera also remains same, and now a new addition, that is, okay, kingdom fungi. So total five kingdoms. So kingdom Plantae, Animalia, Protista, Monera, and fungi are the five kingdoms. Okay, that was proposed by R.H. Whittaker. And we know that for any classification, there is a basis. Okay, so what is the basis for Whittaker's five kingdom classification? Okay, so basis for classification. So I say the criteria for classification. Okay, one, he included the cell structure. So he considered the cell structure, whether they are prokaryotes, eukaryotes, that is the presence of nucleus or absence of nucleus. So that is, he considered the cell structure. Then even he considered thallus organization. He considered thallus organization, right? The thallus organization means what the body, whether they have undifferentiated body or a differentiated body. So that also he has considered. Then he also considered the mode of nutrition. So autotrophic or heterotrophic, okay, under heterotrophic, parasitic, saprophytic, like this, all those modes of nutrition he considered. Then he also considered the mode of reproduction. So whether they are reproducing asexually or sexually, that also he considered. And then lastly, he also considered phylogenetic relationships. Okay, the phylogenetic relationships will actually help to know the common ancestors. Okay, so a common ancestor that diversifies into different groups, and that particular group again from that point it diversifies to form new species. So this we call phylogenetic relationships. So all living organisms on the planet are linked to one to another, right? So here there is nothing a species that has been developed by its own separately, not at all. Okay, so they all have relationships with one another, right? So that's the phylogenetic relationship, which means here it's evolutionary relationships. Evolutionary relationships, right? We will understand that we did not finish the chapter evolution. Okay, so there we will see that all the life on this planet is by chance evolved. Okay, and there is no point of special creation, right? And that first organisms that evolved on this planet, they diversified to form many different species in millions and millions of years. Okay, that's what the point evolutionary relationships. This is very very important. Okay, for the classification. So without considering this, there is no point of classifications. Okay, so R.H. Whittaker considered the phylogenetic relationship, that is evolutionary relationships. Okay, now right, I told you that after the five kingdom, so six kingdom classification came, and seven kingdom, and even eight kingdom is also right, almost it is ready. Okay, after this classifications at present, so the present scenario we'll see. Okay, here a person named Carl Us. Okay, so Carl Usi, so et al. So means there are, okay, other persons along with him. So his colleagues. So Carl Bussy and his colleagues, that is et al. So right, they proposed a three domain system. So they proposed a three domain system. So they proposed a three domain system. This three domain system is they have introduced a small paragraph in the new textbooks. In the old textbooks you don't find this small paragraph. Okay, this is I'm telling about what they have included in the latest textbook. So Carl Wussy et al. Proposed this three domain system. Okay, so those three domains will include, those three domains are: one, archaea domain, archaea, then domain, okay, right, eukarya. So we have domain eukarya, and I'll take here domain bacteria first, and then domain eukarya. Okay, so these archaea and bacteria, they are all, these are prokaryotes. These two are prokaryotes, and the eukarya is the only domain that includes eukaryotic organisms. I hope everyone knows what prokaryotic and eukaryotic organisms are. Okay, so where does this category, that is domain, comes? We know the taxonomical hierarchy. So we have a species, and above that we have genus. Genus. Okay, and then we have, okay, family, then order, class, phylum, okay, kingdom. So these are 7 obligate categories. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Above the kingdom, we have domain. Okay, and above the domain, we have life. So under life, domain, kingdom, and it goes on like this. So this is the newest classification, right? So above the kingdom comes is domain, and that domain system was actually proposed by Carl Bussy et al. Okay, and so we have this same 6 kingdom classification. So what he did, he divided the kingdom Monera into, okay, 2 groups. So kingdom Monera is divided into 2 kingdoms. Is divided into 2 kingdoms. So that is kingdom Archaeobacteria and kingdom Eubacteria. So we have, okay, 2 new kingdoms. So with this, the total number of right kingdoms becomes 6. So then we will see like this. Okay, kingdom, okay, Plantae, they remain same. So kingdom Animalia, okay, and then kingdom, okay, Fungi, right, and then kingdom Protista, and then kingdom, okay, Eubacteria, and kingdom Archaeobacteria. Kingdom Archaeobacteria. So total we have, okay, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So this is a 6 kingdom classification. Okay, so this is 6 kingdom classification, right, and was proposed in 1977 by Carl Puss. Okay, of course, this one, the domain, 3 domain system in 1990. Okay, so that's about the 6 kingdom classification. Okay, of course, later 7 kingdom was also proposed. In that, what they have did is they divided this Protista into 2 more kingdoms. So that will be Chromista and Protozoa. Okay, right. So that uh, so just find it out. So we will stick on to only the R.H. Whittaker's 5 kingdom classification. So R.H. Whittaker's 5 kingdom classification. Okay. So according to this Whittaker's 5 kingdom classification, so we know the Monera. Okay, so the organisms that evolved on this planet for the first time, so they are included in this kingdom, that is Monera. Okay, and this Monera, in course of time, it has resulted in the evolution of next group of organisms called Protista. And this Protista, in course of time, it started to diversify and resulted in the formation of fungi, so also called, right, mycota group, and then also has resulted in the formation of plantae or metaphyta, and then it also diversified to form the kingdom Animalia or Metazoa. Okay, so this is the relationship between all the five kingdoms. Okay, so the kingdom Monera evolved into Protista. Of course, it took millions and millions of years, and from here, the Protista got diversified to form the Mycota, Metaphyta, and Metazoa here. Right now, here all these four kingdoms, so that is Protista, Mycota, Metaphyta, and Metazoa, includes eukaryotic organisms. So all are eukaryotic organisms, right? And the only group that includes prokaryotic organisms is Monera. Okay, so it includes only prokaryotic organisms. Okay, so the Monera only the prokaryotic organisms, and the Protista, fungi, Metaphyta, and Metazoa, all of them, they are eukaryotic organisms here, right? Now, coming to certain features, we'll see here. In case of Monera, so here the Monera, they have cell wall. So majority of them will have cell wall, and some of them like mycoplasmas may not have cell wall, but majority of the organisms included under this kingdom Monera, they have cell wall. Okay, so majority have cell wall. Okay, and what is that cell wall made up of? So this is made up of right, polysaccharides, made up of polysaccharides. So certain polysaccharides are the one that right, make up this cell wall, and also it consists of right, amino acids plus amino acids. So hence I mentioned here it is non-cellulosic, means it is not made up of cellulose. So we see that in case of the group Plantae. So here this Monera, it have, okay, a majority of these organisms have cell wall, and that cell wall is made up of polysaccharides and amino acids, right? And in case of Protista, so this Protista also has a cell wall. Okay, so Protista, okay, some have cell wall. So cell wall is present in them, and okay, here before I discuss that cell wall in detail, here one more point. So here prokaryotic organisms. Okay, so all these are unicellular. So all are unicellular, no multicellular we see in case of kingdom Monera here. And coming to this fungi, we will find, okay, very small number is unicellular, and majority will be multicellular. Okay, and coming to plantae, also we see certain lower group of plants are unicellular, and also we see the remaining multicellular. And coming to the group Animalia, so here we find the Animalia will have only multicellular. So it includes only multicellular organisms, right? So here coming to the fungi, so in this case cell wall is present, and that is made up of chitin. Made up of chitin. Okay, and coming to the plantae group, so they also have a cell wall here. Okay, so cell wall is present, and this is made up of cellulose. So is made up of cellulose. And in case of kingdom Animalia, cell wall is absent. Okay, so cell wall is absent, so it's better I'll not write. Okay, so cell wall is absent. So out of 5 kingdoms, 4 kingdoms have cell walls. Okay, so all Monera, they have cell walls. Okay, only some protistans have cell wall, and all fungi will have cell wall, but that is made up of chitin. So this is what it makes it different from, okay, plantae. So earlier classifiers, they included the fungi with the plantae because of that presence of cell wall. So later when we studied the composition, okay, the plants, okay, their cell wall is made up of cellulose, and here their cell wall is made up of chitin. So with that they have separated the fungi from the group, okay, plantae. Then, okay, coming to the mode of nutrition. So coming to the mode of nutrition, so we see here in case of Monera, we find, okay, both autotrophic and heterotrophic mode of nutrition is present. So both it has autotrophic as well as heterotrophic mode of nutrition. And coming to this autotrophic, it includes photoautotropic and chemoautotropic. So here the chemical substances, if they form the source of energy, then it is chemoautotropic. And if the light is the source of energy, then it becomes a photoautotropic. And coming to heterotrophic group of organisms, they include the saprophytes, okay, saprophytic and parasitic. So you will find saprophytic and parasitic, okay, mode of nutrition in under the heterotrophic group of organisms under Monera. And coming to Protista group, so we see here again both autotrophic, and also we see heterotrophic. So under autotrophic we find photoautotropic. Okay, so in Monera also we see same, okay, and also Protista also it shows autotrophic. Mostly they are all, okay, photoautotropic. And heterotrophic you will find saprophytic, parasitic, and okay, other right modes of nutrition under heterotrophic. Then coming to these fungi, in case of fungi, all are heterotrophic. So in case of fungi, so these are all, okay, all are heterotrophic. None of them will be able to synthesize food by their own, so they are not autotrophic. All are heterotrophic. That includes the saprophytic, okay, and parasitic also. Then coming to plantae, so this includes again all are autotrophic. All are autotrophic, and they are all photoautotropic. So you will find, so photoautotropic. So all those are photoautotropic here. And coming to the group Animalia, so in Animalia, so these are heterotrophic. So here all are heterotrophic. So they show heterotrophic mode of nutrition, and that will include like holozoic or saprophytic mode of nutritions under heterotrophic, you may see. Okay, so this is about the Whittaker's five kingdom classification. Okay, so we will see a few more details in the next session, and we will also see each of these kingdom in detail, okay, in our coming sessions.